I hope that you're having a good morning. And thanks for getting up to join me. Ah, beautiful. I just got your picture. Oh, dreamy. Kitty love and awesome view. That's awesome. Wow, yeah, rainy season, huh? We actually had a thunderstorm here, which was very unusual. Usually in June by now it's like 100 degrees and it was cold and rainy in the middle of June and we're like, oh, like all of our beautiful veggies are like, ah, what's happening? Well, hopefully you got a little bit of rest with all that thunder. Yeah, my sister was here, so she talked to me for a while. So I'm like, oh, I'm a little sleepy. I usually go to bed at like 9 when I have this class in the morning. I went to bed at like 11:30. I feel like, ooh, wild child. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that. But again, I will see your message on my phone light up if you need to text. Yeah, I'm so happy to get up early with you. I'm happy to teach this class. It's good for me to get up early. I'll get more stuff done today. All right. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. We'll begin in child's pose this morning. Bringing the big toes together, knees as wide as the mat. Take a moment, just come in and out. Heels towards the hips towards the heels and back. Bring the hips all the way back to the heels. Release tension in the neck, gently rocking the head side to side. Maybe taking the head all the way in a full circle. If you're moving in one direction, move in the opposite direction. Bring your head back to center and walk the hands out one at a time. Bringing the forehead to a blocker down to the mat. Walk the fingertips out a little further, as far as you can reach, pressing into the hands, send the hips towards the heels. Take a few deep breaths, active in the pose, pressing into the hands, heels moving towards the back of the mat, side bodies lengthening, stretching the ribs. Relax the arms. Let the forearms be heavy on the mat. Sink into the pose. Relax into the pose. Head heavy, neck relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Gently rock the head back and forth, massaging the forehead. A little pressure on the third eye. And come back to stillness. Begin to notice your breathing. No need to change the breath. Just observe your natural breathing. Relax the tongue and jaw. Begin to deepen your breath. Observing where in your body is expanding and contracting with every deep inhalation and exhalation. In this space being created by your breath. Allowing any thoughts, any to-dos for the day to drift, to float out of your mind. Giving yourself permission to be here, to arrive fully, and to be present on your mat. Walking the fingertips over to the right. Lengthening the left side of the body. Maintaining that deep, expansive breath. Walking the hands over to the left. Breathing into the right side of the body. Coming back to center. Take your time to walk the hands towards the knees, rising up. Coming into tabletop pose. Spread the fingers wide. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked, knees below the hips. Just come in and out of the wrists. If it feels good, you can make circles, or you can just shift the weight back and forth. If you're making circles, move in the opposite way. Coming back to stillness, flip the hands over so that the fingertips are facing each other. You can see like this. And with your breath, inhale, curl the fingertips up towards the palms, and exhale, release. Inhale, curling the fingertips towards the base of the palm, and exhale to release. 3 more times with your breath. Coming off the hands, gently shake them out. Rotating the hands, the palms are face down, but the fingertips are pointing back towards your body, thumbs pointing out. Palms on the mat. And take a moment just to explore that in your body, feeling the lower arm, the wrist. And after you explore a little bit of movement, take yourself to your edge, bringing the weight of your body towards your heels. And just breathe. One more deep breath. Coming off the hands, gently rotate the wrists. Fingertips to the mat, tuck the toes. Try to get all 10 toes on the mat. Shift your weight back to your heels, the sit bone on each heel. Hands can be pressed on the thighs or be at the hips. Breathe deeply, stretching the bottom of the feet. If it feels really intense this morning, you can distract yourself by continuing a little wrist movement. Maybe deeper breaths, maybe exhaling through the mouth. One more breath here. Coming off the toes, tap them out. Bring the knees back to the sides of the mat, as wide as the mat. Hips move towards the heels. Extend the right arm and thread the left arm beneath. Bringing the left shoulder down to the mat. Walk the right fingertips all the way up. Extending the right arm. Finding a twist here. One more breath. Walking the fingertips back towards you, press into the right palm to rise back up. Slide the left hand to the top of the mat, thread the right arm underneath, bringing the right shoulder down to the mat, finding your twist. Left fingertips continue to walk towards the top of the mat. One more breath. Walk the left fingertips back, press into the left palm, and rise back up. Coming to the hands and knees, spread the fingers wide, index finger pointing to the top of the mat, emphasize the weight in the index and thumb. Press into every fingertip, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. If downward dog is not in your practice, feel free to stay in tabletop, or maybe that's just what you're planning this morning. Listening, responding. If you're moving into downward dog, take a few moments first downward dog to walk it out. Bending one knee, then the next. Pairing that movement with your breath. Any other movements that feel good here? Maybe shifting the hips side to side. Maybe the heels move side to side. And then find stillness. Take a soft bend in the knees. The heels reach for the mat. Chest reaches for the thighs, lengthening the spine. Gently shake the head. Yes. Crown of the head heavy. No. Shaking the head. 2 more breaths. If you're in tabletop pose, feel free to explore these movements as well. Shifting the hips, releasing tension in the neck. Release the knees back down to the mat. Walk the hands out so that you're in a half plank. Lower down slowly, keeping the elbows tucked in. Forehead on the mat. Roll the shoulders back, elbows reaching for the hips. Press into the toenails, lift the kneecaps. Baby cobra. Rising up, lifting the head and chest. Breathing here. It could be a tiny baby cobra. First little back bend of the morning. Two more breaths. And release the forehead back down to the mat. Arms along the side. Relax completely. Be heavy. If it's uncomfortable to have the forehead on the mat, you can turn your head to one side, resting a cheek. I'll let you know when to switch your cheek. Allow your eyes to close here. Awareness back on your breath. Feeling the expansion on the mat. The belly pressing into the mat as you inhale. And slowly pulling away as you exhale. If the breath feels a little bit short, a little bit more shallow while laying on the stomach, before coming off the stomach, I invite you to send the breath into the back of the body, imagining expanding the back of the ribs with the breath, filling the lungs completely, slow, controlled exhalation. Inhaling, big inhale, expanding the rib cage, breathing into the back of the body, creating space in the vertebrae, long, slow exhale. Inhaling, breathing into the back of the body, sending the breath to the spine, and releasing the breath. One more time. Keeping that deep, slow breath, bring the opposite cheek to the mat if you have decided to turn your head. Keep breathing deeply. Eyes closed, observing sensations as you breathe through the back of your body. Imagine your vertebrae. Visualize the rib cage. Sending love to the spine. One more breath here. Bring the forehead back to the mat. Palms face down, hands next to the shoulders. Elbows reach for the hips, lifting the kneecaps, pressing into the toenails. Rolling the shoulders back as you lift the chest and head. Gazing forward, baby cobra. Breathing here 5 breaths. Lighten the fingertips. One more breath. And release the head back to the mat. Relax the glutes. Extend the right arm straight out from the shoulder, palm facing down. Using your left fingertips, pressing the left fingertips and roll onto the right side of the body. Maybe you stay here. Maybe that feels like enough, legs stacked, using the left hand to keep you balanced. Maybe you'd like to bend the left knee and bring the sole of the left foot behind the right leg. Maybe you'd like to take a bind, wrapping the left arm behind the back, tucking the left fingertips over towards the right hip. Whichever version you'd like to do this morning, whatever feels good in your body in this moment. Finding that version and settling in. Inviting the face to relax, jaw, tongue relax. Noticing if there's any unnecessary tension in the body. Softening. Let the body just soften with your exhalation. One more breath on this side. And if you've taken a bind, unbind the arm, stack the leg. Use the left fingertips to roll you back to center. Nice and slow. Opposite side, extend the left arm straight out from the shoulder. Use the right fingertips to roll you onto the left side. Option to stay here, legs stacked. Or bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot behind the left leg. Option to take a bind. Right arm behind the lower back. Left fingertips at the right hip. Wherever you want to be. Settling in, softening into the pose. Two more breaths. We've taken a bind, unbind the arm. If you've brought the right foot behind the left leg, stack the legs. Use the right fingertips to guide you back to center. Coming back onto the belly. Bringing the hands just above the shoulders, spread the fingers wide. Rising up, baby cobra. One more time. Breathing here, 5 breaths. Lifting the kneecaps, rolling the shoulders back. One more breath. And release. Bringing the hands out from the shoulders, coming onto the fingertips. Staying here for a moment. When you're ready, rising up, the same as if you go into a baby cobra, rolling the shoulders back. Breathing here. Feel free to stay here. Feel like a little more movement. Drop the left shoulder towards the center. Gazing over to the right. Come back up. Drop the right shoulder towards the center of your mat. Gazing to the left. Moving with your breath, inhaling to center. Exhaling, left shoulder comes to the middle of the mat. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, right shoulder comes down. Moving with your breath. So the arms are like this, and we're just shifting back and forth, almost like a cat on the prowl. One more time each side. Coming back to center. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into the hands. Rise up any way that feels good for your body. Don't have to press up to a plank this morning. Coming back to your tabletop pose. Spread the fingers wide, emphasize the weight in the thumb and index, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward dog. Again, feel free to stay in tabletop, gazing from one side to the next. If you're in downward dog, walk it out a little bit. Come to stillness, whether you're in tabletop or downward dog. Extend the right leg. Bend the right knee. If you're in downward dog, gaze under the left arm. 2 more breaths. Square the hips to the mat. Bring the right toes down, right knee down. Opposite side, extend the left leg. Bend the left knee. Those in downward dog, gaze under the right armpit. Those in tabletop, just keep the hip open, knee bent. One more breath. Square the hips to the mat. Bring the left toes down. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. Release the knees back to the mat. Step the right foot forward. Fingertips on either side of the foot. Knees stacked above the ankle. Spread the toes wide, pressing into all 4 corners of the foot. Lengthen the spine. Maybe this feels like where you want to be. Feel free to stay here. Or bring one hand up to the knee, then the next. Finding your way into a low lunge. If there's any discomfort in the knee, feel free to fold blankets, clothing, flip your mat up so it's doubled. Take time to do that. If the hands are resting on top of the thigh, above the knee, feel free to stay there or bring them to the hips, reaching the crown up. And just stop at your edge. I invite you to try going a little deeper. In your low lunge, begin to explore movement, shifting the weight forward and back. Bending the knee a little deeper, coming back up. Feeling the front of the left hip lengthening. And from here, bring the fingertips back down to the mat, framing the foot, tuck the back toes, Lift the back knee off the mat. Find your balance. Reach the left heel back, press into all four corners of the right foot. Option to stay here or rise up. High lunge. Gazing forward, arms sweep up. Hips square to the front of the mat. Beautiful. One more breath. Fingertips float back down to frame the foot. Lower the back knee. Untuck the toes, or tuck the toes, whichever feels better for your knee. Press into the left hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reach the crown forward. Exhale, sweep the right hand out, twist to the right. Inhaling, reaching the right fingertips up. Exhale, twisting a little deeper. 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, right fingertips float down. Natural breathing. Bring the right knee back, tabletop pose. Step the left foot forward. Just like we did on the other side, spending plenty of time working our way deeper. Spread the toes, press into all four corners of the foot. Knees stacked above the ankle. Feeling free to stay here or coming up, bringing one hand to the side and the next. Exploring movement. Moving the knee a little deeper and coming back. Lengthening the front of the right foot. Hands can come to the hips. Breathing here, a few more breaths. Fingertips find the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Find your balance, right heel reaching back, staying high on the toes, pressing into all four corners of the left foot. On an inhale, rise up, sweep the arms up, high lunge. Exhale, settle in. Keep breathing. Relax the shoulders. Soften the face. 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, fingertips float back down to the mat, raising the foot. Bring the right knee down. Inhale, press into the right hand. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, sweep the left arm out to the left. Find your twist. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Breathing into your twist. Toes tucked or untucked. Maybe gazing up towards the left hand. One more breath. Left arm comes back down, fingertips to the mat. Tucking the toes now if they're not already tucked. Option to have your block here. Again, to walk the fingertips back, lengthening the left leg, flex the left toes. Hanumanasana, half split. If you have a block, you can come up onto your blocks, lengthening the spine. Breathing into the back of the leg. Spending a little more time here, another 5 breaths or so, so feel free to take it deeper. Keeping the toes flexed, spine straight, maybe begin to fold. Maybe your hamstrings are tight like mine, and you're just going to stay where you are. Breathing into those tight places, inviting them to release. One more breath. Bending the left knee, walk the fingertips back to frame the foot. Bringing the foot down to the mat. Untuck the back toes. Bring the left knee to meet the right. Tabletop pose. Spread the fingers wide. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked. Knees below the hips. Inhale, lengthen and lower the belly. Lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck the chin. Press into the hands and feet. Cow and cat, move through 5 rounds. Moving with your breath or breathing in and out of the same pose. Coming back to a neutral spine. Step the right foot forward. Finding your balance. Option to have your block. Tucking the back toes. Straighten the front leg. The right leg, right toes reach up towards the sky. You have your block. Fingertips find the block. Palm finds the block. You can adjust the height of your block. Breathing here. Waking up the back of the right leg. We'll be here a total of 7 to 8 breaths. Take your time. If you'd like to move deeper, folding forward, or be where you are, breathing. Maybe you find a breath of release, exhaling through the mouth. It can be a little intense sometimes. One more breath. Walking the hands back towards the top of the mat. Right foot finds the mat. Sweep the right leg back. Coming back to tabletop pose on the hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide. Inhale, lengthen the belly, lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Create space between the shoulder blades. Shake up the head and neck. Inhaling back to a neutral position. Sweep the legs to the side. Coming onto the sit bones. If you'd like, you can sit on a block or a pillow. You can roll the edge of your mat so that the hips are higher than the knees. Find any comfortable seat. You can also stay on the shins if that's comfortable for you. When you found your comfortable seat, roll the shoulders back, open the heart space. Shift the weight from left to right, feeling the sits bones and allowing them to root, to ground, to connect with the mat. Lengthen the spine. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Eyes softly close. Eyebrows and forehead soften. Tongue and jaw relax. Chest and shoulders relax. Belly soft. Hips heavy. Legs heavy and relaxed. Glutes relaxed. Softening into Sukhasana pose or rock pose or a comfortable seat. Bring attention to your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Find a count, a breath count, a rhythm that works for you. Perhaps inhaling for 4 counts, maybe 5. And exhaling for 2 more counts than you inhale. So if you inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Inhale for 5, exhale for 7, so on. Begin to tune into your rhythm. To hear yourself that count. We'll spend the next 2 minutes or so breathing that rhythm. Releasing control over your breath. Natural breathing. The next minute or two in silence to observe any subtle sensation in the body. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Long breath out through the mouth. Returning to your natural, effortless breath. Bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Eyes can stay closed here. Lowering down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming onto the back. When you found your way onto your back, full body stretch as if you're waking up again. Arms come up overhead, rotating the wrists and ankles. Spend a few moments here. As you feel ready, draw one knee into the next, giving yourself a nice hug, a little squeeze, making a little ball, wrapping your arms around the legs. Once you're there, maybe you rock side to side, massaging the lower back. Maybe you just stay still, cradling your legs. Come back to center. Squeeze the knees in, bring the forehead towards the knees, create a tiny little ball, small as you can, and then release into Shavasana, our final resting pose, extending the legs, walking the arms out, palms face up, shoulder blades move together and down the back, lengthen the back of the neck, take a deep breath in, and exhale, relaxing every muscle. Natural, effortless breath. Allow your body to become heavier and heavier as you surrender into Shavasana. I'll wake you when it's time. Become aware of your breath. Gently move the fingers and toes. Take a moment to stretch before making your way to one side. And as you make your way to the left or right side, pause there for a few breaths in the fetal position, thanking yourself for practicing yoga this morning. A moment of gratitude for all that you do, for taking this time for you. Take your time, move your arms to assist you as you find your way back to a seat. Eyes softly closed, palms meet at heart center, thumbs resting against the sternum. I invite you to join me in closing our morning practice with mantra, 3 repetitions of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, meaning may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may I somehow contribute to the happiness and freedom for all. Joining together for 3 repetitions, followed by 1 Om. Inhaling to begin. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you so much for being here this morning, for joining me. I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.